Hello, I'm Pat Flynn, and thank you for being here and the interest, and we got to do it as Americans. And I really believe that the majority of Americans are more conservative than not. Unfortunately, we just keep moving further and further to the left, whether Democrats or Republicans are in power. So I ask myself this question, why is that? And number one, we are not electing leaders anymore. We're electing career politician types. And career politicians are really incapable of leading this country into the future. And it's because they lack business experience and they don't know what it's like to have their back up against the wall daily and walk through it. The number two reason is this. Vladimir Lenin said this. He said, the organized minority will defeat the unorganized majority every time. The silent majority in this country is getting crushed. And it's time we stand up and do something about this. My duty is to help organize and lead this majority into victory and America back to its constitutional roots. Now, I'm from Schuyler, and I'm the only businessman in this U.S. Senate race on the Republican ticket. Actually, I grew up on a farm, worked and managed hog confinements for 8 years while I was in high school and college. At age 23, I started my own insurance and investment business by knocking on doors day in and day out for 11 years. At age 35, I helped start a high school volunteer youth ministry program in my hometown. I worked 20 to 30 hours per week volunteering in that, and after 13 years of being that, we were the #1 youth group in the state not long after we started. We had 100 teens voluntarily attending with 25 helpers out of a public high school of 350 students. I'm also an advisory board member for the University of Nebraska's Newman Center. And that's the #1 program of its type in the country. And what I've learned from these life and business experiences is this. If we lead with truth, people follow. So how do we win the war that we're in today? We're going to have to change our attitudes and actions and become the greatest generation ever. And how do we do that? Number one is prayer. Now, if one thinks America became America without the reliance on prayer, they'd be duly mistaken. When America declared her independence from the British Empire in 1776, our first commander-in-chief called for prayer, fasting, and humble supplication to the Lord for his continued blessings. So I'll stick with America's greatest president as my leader. Number two is this. We're going to have a constitutional revolution by electing representatives who can lead us back to our constitutional roots. And number three is we're going to have to become a virtuous man and a virtuous nation. Virtue means the quality of moral excellence, righteousness, and responsibility. Now, as an investment advisor of 29 years, I do not see a safe place for money in America today. And then you look at the Gatling gun of regulations that's coming at us from all angles, and I realize that as a business person, I won't even have a business in 3 years if this keeps going the way it's going. So actually, I sold my business last May, burned the boat, and got in this race with both feet. I'm capable of doing this, so that's what I'm going to do. It's my duty. My challenge to you is this. You have to think out of the box when you vote for Pat Flynn in this next United States Senate race. You aren't in any different shape than I am. The last line of the Declaration of Independence states this. It says, and for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. And that's what I'm challenging you to do and asking you to do. I'm asking you to become warrior citizens. America will, and I'm asking you to get on our campaign, stop at our booth afterwards, and get on board. America will make it through this if more of us pray, work, contribute, vote, and get others to do the same. Thank you. I'm Pat Flynn, and God bless America.